take a few minutes in silence and let's apologize to the water, tell it how much we love it, how grateful we are. And where the Suncor tailings ponds are leaching down through the earth into the river. It's the Athabascan River. And there's no way to stop that. You know, the scientists, all these supposedly smart people, they don't know how to stop that because those pools are huge, seeping through whatever they're lined with. And so there'll be miles and miles and miles of what was a very pristine, perfect river. And then we have the Kalamazoo River in the United States that 3 or 4 years ago had a tar sands oil leak in it that is still damaged for over 30 miles. I mean, we could go on and on and on with all the damages. In the Niger Delta, where Chevron is pulling out massive amounts of oil there, the whole river, it's just black with oil. As women, we need to know these things. We need to know where these things are happening. As painful as it is, we need to connect with that water. And all the water is connected, so you can pray for that water wherever it is that you're thinking of, through the water that comes out of your tap, through the creek that's by your yard, by going to the ocean, by, just talking to water. Water's memory carries it all around. That water is carrying our apologies and our gratitude to all the waters in the world.
Had a march. So you were the first people to march in Benicia. In 1850, George C. Yount, a general who was part of the pioneers who came out here for the federal government when California was just at the point of statehood, he saw this area for the first time and he said it was paradise. He said the sky was blackened by the wings of waterfowl rising up from the river and going to the sky. There was deer and elk and every sort of mammal that he could think of, and the river was full of fish, and the native peoples were all pacifically enjoying life on the fringes of the river. What we see now is the largest concentration of petrochemical plants in Northern California. You see across the river, we're looking at Contra Costa County, and we're seeing, starting over here, we see the port, Shell Oil's port. And if you could look over the hills over here, you'd see the Franklin Canyon pet coke terminal that stores petroleum coke for Shell and I believe Rodeo Conoco. Just to the east of the bridge is Rhone-Poulenc, which is a huge chemical company. At one time in 1992 wanted to have a hazardous waste incinerator there, and people fought it in 92 successfully, and Rhone-Poulenc can't do that. So, but it is one of the big petrochemical plants right there. Then you look over here and you see another huge refinery that's now called Tesoro Golden Eagle Refinery, and it's one of the worst in terms of safety hazards. 4 men died there. You look up the river farther, you would see the remains of the Concord Naval Weapons Station during World War II. That station blew up and killed 300 African-American workers who were on the ships, and that shock wave from the explosion of the armament ships there was felt all the way to Benicia and Vallejo when windows knocked out and door frames got jammed up. And if Shell Refinery or the propane trains coming from Phillips 66, if we had a huge explosion across the river on one of those trains, the shock wave would travel across the river and could knock out Benicia. If we have an explosion of Bakken crude anywhere around here, coming across this trestle bridge, they might be trains going down to the Santa Maria refinery for Phillips 66, coming from Donner Summit. They may be bringing Bakken over here. We could lose a bridge. We could lose parts of our industrial park, Caltrans, highways, etc. We're talking about the potential for added risk every day if these projects go through. But our job is to imagine what it could be again. Our job is to imagine what it's like when these refineries are gone finally, and it will happen. Maybe not in our lifetimes, maybe not so easily, but they are doomed. They are doomed because we will not have that much oil anymore, and it will be seen as precious. And there will not be 5 refineries on this shoreline. And the fight is here because we have a refinery in our midst, and that's the challenge.
Obviously, we cannot trust our government, and that is why citizen-led committees are important. So tonight, I am here to urge the community of San Francisco Bay Area to demand that their health and safety be put ahead of corporate profit. Please stand up and mobilize. It's a citizen battle, and let's have hope that we can change things. Thank you.